Have you ever had that feeling that sometimes a person that's stopping you from making a decision is actually yourself? Or if you have so much information just floating around your head, you literally freeze in place and just can't move forward with your life? That feeling of just being overwhelmed is called analysis paralysis, and it's definitely something I've dealt with in life. Hello viewers, my name is Dr.Rosy Thachil. I'm a board certified cardiologist, and welcome to my channel where I talk about all things personal development. Before we begin, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when I come back with another video. Analysis paralysis is a popularized term first used in a Greek fable that described more than just overthinking things. You can freeze in your mind and you just can't make a decision. It's probably happened to all of us at some point. Essentially, you feel stuck, paralyzed in fact, and it even comes with the feeling of being anxious. In this video, we'll discuss some tips for when analysis paralysis comes knocking at your door. So what is analysis paralysis? For starters, it's formally known as the inability to make a decision for a variety of reasons. This could possibly stem from a situation that's too complicated, or having too much information, or even having anxiety because you may worry what the outcome may be. Analysis paralysis can also be caused by a person's desire to be perfect or have a perfect outcome or solution. All of these things can overwhelm a person, which stops them from making decisions altogether. In other words, you let your thoughts eat you up because you find it harder to plan and make a decision. Rather than empowering us to make better decisions, our access to knowledge can sometimes increase our fear of making the wrong decision, which leaves us paralyzed. In the research world, it started with the term paradox of choice, which was introduced by psychologist Barry Schwartz. He observed that while additional choices are helpful in providing us with more information for a suitable choice, it also leads to increased worry, uncertainty, paralysis, and unhappiness. Schwartz was able to categorize two specific types of paradox of choice. They are the maximizers and the satisficers. A maximizer is someone who is determined to make the best possible decision, which may require them to study possibilities thoroughly, but also they may be less happy with their final choice than someone who performed less research. On the other hand, we have satisficers, a combination of the terms satisfy and suffice. Satisficers are practical people who are happy to accept solutions that properly satisfy their agenda. They don't waste time overthinking their options or regretting previous decisions. Having too many choices in a way is a double-edged sword, but for people with analysis paralysis, it can be very limiting. People may feel nervous and pressured to make a quick decision in the face of many options. Overthinking is at the root of analysis paralysis. Having analysis paralysis can limit us from enjoying what we want to do. It keeps us from making timely and effective decisions. According to research in psychology and neuroscience, analysis paralysis actually has a bigger impact on productivity and well-being than just wasted time. Overthinking takes away time and sometimes even motivation. Because of the thoughts and doubtful questions creeping up in your head, you lose your touch, you become out of focus, and it takes away not just your motivation, but sometimes also your confidence. It leads to questioning yourself and your capabilities. It can be draining, and ultimately it takes away from the joy of what you're doing. So how can we overcome analysis paralysis? The most common advice for most people is calm down, don't think about it too much. This is much easier said than done. So here are a few tips. Number one, know your why. One of the best ways to combat analysis paralysis is knowing the reasons why you're making a decision in the first place. Ask yourself, why does this matter? Who will my decision affect? And what's the purpose of my decision? If you can answer these questions internally and find your own rationale, you'll then be able to prioritize the other smaller related decisions that need to be addressed. Think big picture, and your overthinking will get smaller and smaller. Number two, bite-sized pieces. A helpful strategy is to take big decisions and turn them into smaller ones, aka a bite-sized piece. With analysis paralysis, big decisions can be overwhelming, but creating a numbered list of smaller decisions can help make things much more manageable. Number three, don't be perfect. A lot of times, things actually don't need to be perfect. They just need to be good enough. So vet the decision you're making, and especially if they're low-stakes decisions, don't perseverate and move on. If anything, you'll learn from your imperfections and so-called wrong decisions. Like they say, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll end up amongst the stars. So keep your perfection ego in check and just move on. Number four, let it out. When you're dealing with analysis paralysis, talking to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, etc. can be really helpful. Having an outside perspective can be very insightful. It can help you organize your thoughts and be an anchor when you're feeling overwhelmed. They can also point out your blind spots or bring up points you may not have considered before. But just make sure that this someone is a trusted confidant and has your best interest at heart. Number 5, take a break. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just take a step back, breathe, relax, decompress, and restart from the beginning. Clear your head and put some distance between your problem and your mind, or your decision and your mind. And sometimes that's all you need. As time passes, something may come up, light bulb goes off, an idea goes off in your head, and you can return and make the right decision. Of course, this only works if there's no time-sensitive decision that needs to be made. And if there is, well then ask for an extension if there's a deadline, and be honest about it. In most cases, you can ask to take an extra minute or an extra day to think about something. Never feel pressured about making a decision. It's always best to have a clear mind and a clear conscience. I hope you found these tips and tricks helpful. Don't let yourself get in the way of making decisions, no matter how big or small they are. Don't be your own worst enemy. That's a wrap for this video. Let me know in the comments below whether you've experienced analysis paralysis and how you manage it and overcome it. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. Until next time.